Xander. Um, I believe you've been live now, what, since the November-ish time frame, and
Yep,
here we
yep.
are at the end of March. So it's been a few months. You can see on the screen a lot of the value that you've realized. Could you walk us through and perhaps give us some examples of the value?
Sure. Yep. So over the last 3 months, our team has been using Polarion, and we've had lots of business values. Again, everything on here probably I could have added some more too, but these are probably the top eight. So yeah, I'll kind of just walk through each one and kind of give some examples. So first up, reduction in our development cycle time. So the R&D team, they are now moving much more efficiently now since we have sprints, and we can now tie those sprints with different requirements and specs that we have in our data quality management system. So everything is moving much more efficient, and I would say there's probably a lot less confusion now on the team since we can all kind of go into the portal and be on the same page for what's going on in each sprint. Next up, in an increased funding appeal to attract investors and grants. So, like many startups, we are kind of always in fundraising mode. Right now, we are talking to different investors, and a question that they're always asking us is, "Do you have a data quality system in place?" And now we can finally say yes. So this makes them a little bit more, I guess, confident that we are kind of de-risking our value now. So yes, they're very happy when we told them that we are using a Polarion right now. Also, it's making our audit time quicker. Pretty much 90, I would even say 95% cut. So we haven't gone through an official audit yet, but if we do go through an audit in our system, we pretty much have everything there that can be exported in a matter of minutes. So we have all of our SOPs, traceability matrices, our different risks and hazards, specs, all that information is right there in our data quality system. So if we ever do have an audit, it won't take the team weeks or even months to get through it. We can get it done really quick in a matter of probably a day or two. Higher acquisition value. So I would say this is probably one of the best things that startups can do in having a data quality system. Again, you want to get it sooner than later because if you are looking to exit with an acquirer, it's 100% mandatory that you have to have a data quality system in place. Of course, the value can range. It could double, triple, depending on how important and maybe how many requirements or specs you have in the system or how complex your device is. But this will definitely help us when we start talking to strategics and if we do end up going through that extra strategy. $1 million in savings. So I would say this is also another good one that has helped us. So for our current timeline, we are set to submit to the FDA, I believe, by the end of the year. Um, However, if we didn't have this data quality system, we wouldn't be able to submit to probably sometime next year. Again, this really has, as I mentioned before, increased our pace in kind of getting to the finish line. So now we can have everything in different phases. And again, it's less people we have to hire, and the team can move at a faster pace to kind of get us to that submission by the end of the year. Let's see what else we put on here. Minimize risks. So unaddressed in design and development. So this is something that we really, really are excited about. Um, Again, with startups, you people have many hats on, but I know one thing that we were kind of missing is a good spot to kind of track all of our risks and hazards that may happen when our device goes on market. I know in our current clinical studies a few months ago, some of the operators were having trouble trying to determine what a quality image was. So our clinical research manager said, "Hey, maybe we can do a feature where we can kind of have a stoplight. So as you are starting to focus the eye, it'll have a green indicator to let you know that this is good quality." So she went back into Polarion, added that into the system. So we now have an official requirement. We actually have already implemented that requirement. So now we have a feature on our current version of the device that has a green quality indicator to let the operators know that the image is good to go. So again, this was good, and we can do this for future feedback. So again, all of the teams on the same page, so we can kind of really understand that requirement and what the specs are needed to close that out. 50% reduction in FDA 510K submission prep time. This kind of goes along the line with the audit I was talking about. As everyone knows, the submitting to the FDA, there's a lot of documentation. So again, from failure modes and effects analysis to cybersecurity to different architecture, all that needs to be submitted to the FDA. And instead of having everything in different emails and portals and in Slack, again, all that is in our quality system now. So again, just really easy to access. And then I would say probably the most important, as you can see, I wasn't able to put a dollar amount or a specific metric on it, but just team alignment. Again, as many startups know, there can also be a lot of confusion, especially if you have a remote team. We have a remote team, so it really is good if we're all on the same page. So again, now we are using our data qualities management system in many of our meetings. We'll pull it up, and again, just make sure that we're all on the same page and aligned on what work needs to be done to get us to that design freeze and start prepping for the FDA.